industrial revolution model in that we bring people on, and people are just like any other commodity. We bring them on, and then we discard. If they're no good, we discard them. Right? That's a total waste, especially when you talk about human resources. Why not get people on board and get them properly trained for success? Train them actually from the beginning for success.
Welcome to Miami. Whatever comes to my mind at that moment.
So now we're going to put them in the field. The problem with that, though, is the model that we've been going on is still the whole industrial revolution model in that we bring people on, and people are just like any other commodity. We bring them on, and then we discard. If they're no good, we discard them. Right? That's a total waste, especially when you talk about human resources. Why not get people on board and get them properly trained for success? Train them actually from the beginning for success. So when we bring them in the force and we train them, then we just stop. Why stop there? Why just stop at the basic training? If we're talking about these folks are the pillars of the institution, why not continually train? I don't mean, these PD days that people have where they just go someplace and they review policies and procedures. I'm talking about training for success. Training that would include learning how to communicate, learning how to lead, learning how to be their better self, because these are the folks that are on the ground floor. They're the ones that people interact with on a daily basis. In the social services, you're dealing with people. And it's all about communicating and interacting with people. And this is where the social emotional training comes in, because this is the piece they're missing. All right?
I agree. So it's content, then context.
Yes.
So they have to understand. So you can't be what you can't see. And
Right.
once they start seeing it, now they can believe it, and now they can follow through and be a part of it.
Right.
We have like one of our foster care kids that we spoke at the African American Cultural Arts Center when they had about 200 parents there. Michael and I spoke, and we had 4 kids, I think, 4 parents with 4 kids. 3 of them are in foster care in that area. One of them is 19 and a freshman. So my goal is to be able to get her in and out within a year and a half. There's no reason why we can't, and get her in a career. Another one I think had a baby, or did she have a baby? I'm not sure. One of them had a baby.
One of them has a baby.
So another one's like in 6th grade, but she's 14 or 15.
14-year-old.
So she's she's 2 years behind. So my biggest challenge is finding these kids that have learning challenges. You don't have to do tests in our school. It's all online at your own pace. We're gonna have teachers. So they, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a week, they go and they're all online. Every day we're gonna start it off with a little video or a mantra or a game or something like that to get the kids, because a lot of them are going home to very challenging neighborhoods, and they're sleeping on the ground. One of our things I think is we want to be able to go into either their homes or meet with their parents and really see how they're living, because we're gonna be able to bring resources. One of the guys we're meeting with today, Rolly, he's got food and clothing for the families. And they're paying mentors, our mentors, and that's another thing too that I'll talk to him about, is I want to get them paid as mentors to support some of the kids that are, and so they're hiring up to 6 years older than the kids. So if the kids are 16, then they want it less than 24. So I think what we're doing with the college side of it can be really impactful. So my thought is how do we work with people like that, online or offline? And what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna do seminar style with an online, very simplistic, like the other stuff, a couple of the reading assignments, a couple of the, going on, commenting about things, doing the end video. I really like the end video side of it. So I think with these first 20 or 30 mentors that we have come to the school, we're gonna get their companies to commit to doing training for their employees. And we're working on with a few companies to, I think I just got our first commitment of an insurance company. It's a small brokerage in LA to commit to all their employees being trained in our execs have to be a black belt or going through the black belt system, and everybody else can just go through a white belt. But the commitment it's very simple on that side. They would then get a seal that says they're a black belt corporation, and then they would be able to recruit out of our platform long term. But my thought on that is it's kind of like the bar. So we're looking at, like, one of our buddies, Eric Dollar, he got me on the phone with a guy and he goes, you should do it like the bar. So they have to pass something after school to then go be able to work for one of your companies. But when your company knows that he will show up on time and he'll show up on time and they'll follow through their word and get things done. Now it's a win-win. Why wouldn't companies want pre-trained employees that are the rock stars? Yeah. So I'm looking at that on how do we, I think we're coming up with that idea as the white belts and the black belts, the execs and the employees, and then we can give them the seal, and then they would pay, like, they donate $100 a year, something like that. Not much. I don't care about that side of it, but I want their employees trained, because then I can, refer Jake or other people to them, and we can get this buy-in. The college kids, I think, are the key. High school kids don't have enough resources to do it. They can't drive, so it's a lot of them. So I like the college market, but we would go in and we would, like at Nova eventually, we won't have it as an 8-week course. We'll go in for a seminar style. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before even school.
Come in. It's raining. Hi. Good to see you. Hi. Good. Yeah, y'all brought the house.
I want to introduce you. You know Michael?
No. I'm sorry. Yes.
This is Malik. He's one of our kids at Nova.
Hi. How are you?
He just graduated.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. Hey. How you doing?
And this is Jake. I don't know if he can film anything or for my vlog, but he does all my vlog, but I know there's politics too.
There's politics.
What I find is the more emotional intelligence you have, the more you can take accountability. The accountability is not the bad part. It's looking wrong or not having that belief. A lot of time the younger generation comes up and they don't want to be wrong or shamed or blamed or criticized because they don't know who they are inside. And so I find a lot of the executives, the managers, and the higher emotional intelligence, the more accountability we can take, and then we can also show people how to take that accountability so we can get more follow through. So I think with the cultural side of law enforcement, with increasing emotional intelligence, learning how to become a mentor, I think there's 3 parts for your department. Training part is the experience side. Second one is the mentorship. So I find there's mentors I was a wrestler, there's mentors in wrestling, there's mentors in school, but in the work world, but there's not mentors in a school environment. And then some industries, I think like law enforcement, it's not pushed like there's mentors as your sergeant or your lieutenant or whoever's above you, but there's no like structure to mentor. So maybe some departments there's a little more than others. Then the third part is to vet out potential future employees. And so I think those are the 3 big things that I'm finding in the law enforcement is right now it's a background check, it's here are the standards, but there's no, from what I've seen, there's no emotional intelligence experience side on, let's say you say we have 50 people that are going to try out. We do from a half day to a 3-day experience, and you and a couple of your team or whoever can watch how they participate. How do they jump up to the board? How do they play as a team? They're not going to play hard there. Why are they going to play hard for you at work?